tell me, if you were going into a company today, some of those questions, if you're dealing with a decision leader, somebody whose attention all of a sudden is something's piqued them as well. What are the questions that you're starting to ask them about their culture to determine if EKG is appropriate?
Well, questions around retention, questions around the employee experience, questions around how well do they know whether they have a high levels of employee engagement. And so the discussions begin with that frame. And then ultimately customers will say, well, tell me more about this, right? So the premise at first is to ask questions around possible areas of pain, because ultimately they will respond to that, but also looking at the areas of possible gain, right? So both pain and gain. That way you take a look at whether or not they want to get serious about influencing this, because the premise of EKG is that stressing and caring relationships matter. And you better get serious as a leader to nurture them. And it's not just a once a year celebration, but it's an all the time thing. And so that began a very rich set of conversations with clients. And then some of them said, well, how do we do this? Right. And so then that's how EKG evolved. And EKG is now a series of 3 workshops, each workshop lasting roughly about 3 hours. And with teams of supervisors and leaders. And it's amazing what they've come back as far as the impact that they believe it has. Even then, still the challenge is for that senior leader to say, this is a way of life, not just a program and a training event that we went to.